What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button. Go to our Cash App, $ B Jizzle, PayPal, Project Masters. If you guys like to donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast for this great content we're about to, drop, as well as continuously, hit the notification bell for new subscribers right by the subscribe button to get all of our notifications when we drop a new video, new content, or a new live video. Let's get it popping. All right, man. So apologies first off for yesterday not having the live. I had some other things I had to get done. Y'all gotta remember I got another life outside of the YouTube streets. I'm gonna give y'all all the information because of y'all, the audience, of course. But there's gonna be some times where I have to juggle things around where if I have a video that I was thinking about dropping the night before, that I might, go to the morning time, or it may be something where, I might have to, get a little bit more time, watch the film and watch the game. So, I try to give y'all the best content as, possible, because that's what y'all deserve. But let's get into it, man. Last night, the Boston Celtics were able to win another game over the Miami Heat, 97-110. And if we look at the numbers of both of these teams, particularly, you wouldn't think the numbers really match the score, meaning that based off how they both, shot the ball, was particularly even. Rebounding was particularly even. Assists were not that far off. Blocks were not that far off. Steals were something that was actually more into the Celtics' favor, which also led to the turnovers, which was very early in the game. Points to the paint with Miami. Personal fouls, 13-9, very low fouling game. So a lot of people who look at the numbers on the stats will see that what happened. This doesn't really reflect the score. Like, this was a 13-point victory. Well, and of course, the victory, could have felt more because, the Celtics, had control of the entire game. I don't think the Miami Heat led one time. If we look at, the individual numbers, let's go with the Miami Heat. No one scored over 20 points. That's the first thing I noticed. No one scored over 20 points, and they were missing their point guard, Gabe Vincent, which forced Kyle Lowry to be their starting point guard, which he only gave you 5 points and 1 assist and 2 rebounds in 30 minutes, which Kyle Lowry, has taken a dip from last season. He's dealing with injury right now. He's dealing with pain. He's trying to keep it all together. Of course, it's the playoffs. Everybody's really banged up or nicked, but Kyle Lowry's 37 years old, so you playing up against, guys in their mid-20s, early 20s, or, late 20s, things of that nature. It's going to definitely be a difference. Bam Adebayo had a, quiet night. Jimmy Butler had a quiet night. Their other role players, Max Strus had 3 points. Caleb Martin and Duncan Robinson have been their better players in the against the Celtics. They did what they were supposed to do as far as hitting, shots. So all in all, what I saw, like, first of all, Miami did not create enough points and they did not make enough stops. Go up against a team like Boston, who all had 4 guys over 20 points. Right? Marcus Smart, starting off with him, he had 23. He had the second high, and Derek White had the first high. Derek White and Marcus Smart had the 2 most points, which led to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown not having to go crazy. And I'm going to talk about why that's kind of bad news for the Miami Heat in a minute, because, something that I saw last night, I want to kind of echo what's going to be with Game 6. So make sure y'all continue to hit that like button. Again, this is not an actual video. This is a pre-recorded video, not a live. Let's get it going. Now, I'll listen to the post game. Like, I don't know if y'all know, I listened to the post game press conference as well, right after the game, just to get more clarity on like what's going on. Because you guys know basketball is not more than it's more than, up and down. It's also about, saying the emotion part of the game. Excuse me, about the emotion part of the game, right? So if I look at the Miami Heat, right, Excuse me, I'm eating some fruit. Um, I listened to Jimmy Butler last night. You know, Jimmy Butler is somebody who I have a high respect for a number of reasons. First of all, from what he's working with, working, more with less. What I mean by that is, if you look at the Miami Heat roster, they're not filled with stars. They're not filled with all stars. They're not filled with, what I'm saying, great all-star talent. They're not filled with that. They're filled with, guys who just fill in their role. They buy into the Miami Heat culture. They play hard and they play smart and they play together. That's what Jimmy Butler's dealing with, right, with this Miami Heat team. I see it how, he leads his teammates, how, what I'm saying, he tries to instill confidence in guys like Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry. He steals that confidence in those type of guys, right? So now that you have a situation where, they're down 3-2, you got to imagine, what I'm saying, he's going back, to Miami he's like, hey man, this is it. This is, what it's about. This is this is our game 7. Because the last thing you want to do is go back to Boston game 6, with your back against the wall. You don't want to do that for game 7. You don't want to do that. So as I look at this right here, I see that from what Jimmy said last night is that basically they're going to be in a, of course they're going to be in a dogfight, but he said they're going to win. You know what I'm saying? He said the same thing. I think he said the same thing after game 4. We're going to go up to Boston and get a win. Right. So obviously that didn't happen. So now he's going to game 6 feeling like he's going to get a win. He's very confident. He's going to speak, I'm saying, positive towards his team, which he was supposed to do because he's a leader. So if there's any confidence I have Miami can take game 6 is because of Jimmy Butler. Because of he's a very, very, mentally strong person. You know what I'm saying? Who you can count on to will you through one game. I mean, this guy literally was hobbling around last year in the playoffs and took the Miami Heat to 7 games. Right? So listen to the press conference and listen to what Miami, he said that, they haven't been themselves the last 2 games. That gives me, what I'm saying, great comfort knowing that my leader is still, speaking confidence in us. Now, something about, because Miami, are they in trouble and, are they going to possibly lose the series? Because it used to be the first time Boston wins. We knew going into the season or the series, Boston had more of the, what I'm saying, expectations on their side. And Miami was more the underdog, right? So when you see both, excuse me, I don't think Miami is particularly in a bad spot as far as, because all they did, Boston, what they do, game 4, they were supposed to go down. They're supposed to, what I'm saying, get swept. It's hard to sweep a team, right? Game 4 happens. Boston shows great resiliency, great fight, great heart, and they get one. I think Miami let their foot off the gas. They did not, what I'm saying, put, the pressure on them like they should have, and that's what led Boston to get the victory. Then you go to game 5. Boston's going back home. So, of course, if you're going back home, you're going to have more of the momentum on your side. Right? So, with that being said, like, yes, Miami, they're still up 3-2 and the series ain't over. But I don't feel like they're in trouble as much as the media. Like they're of course the media's gonna have something to talk about, but at the end of the day, all Boston had was, they can only go was up. They couldn't go any further down. So when you can go up and you can kind of play freely. You know what I'm saying? They're just playing freely right now. So if they can pull out game 6, then it's a difference. Now you're talking like, okay, that wasn't, no fluke. But nonetheless, Boston, was able to, extend the series. So all credit to them. Marcus Smart was very, very. One thing I saw Boston do that they did not do the first 3 games is that they set the tone very early. Something I noticed about both of these teams, the more aggressive team tends to have the advantage. Now that might sound, cliche, of course, the aggressive team usually has the upper hand, but the aggressive team I'm talking about with Boston and Miami, I'm talking about the guys who's getting the 50-50 balls, hitting the key shots, uplifting their teammates, getting scoring in certain stretches of the game. Those are the teams that actually have the upper hand when you talk about, what I'm saying, going into, winning a game. That's what's happened the first 5 games. The team that's had the most energy, the team that had the most momentum has won the game from there on out. So what you're seeing with Boston right now is what they should have been doing the first 3 games, right? But I think Boston did what Miami did in game 4. And that's, what I'm saying, you took their foot off the gas. You can't do that against, a playoff caliber team. I think Boston looked at Miami as the number 8 seed. They struggled against the Atlanta Hawks in the play and the Chicago Bulls. No one talks about them. No one, really cares, about what Miami Heat is doing. And I think Boston chose to, I think they took them a little lightly, which is crazy because they just faced this team last year in the conference final. They should know what they can do. So that, and I think Jimmy Butler led the way. Now, the thing about Jimmy Butler is he's somebody that continuously likes to get his teammates going very early. But at the end of the day, if I'm Jimmy Butler and I'm going home, I got to look to be aggressive early. I got to start taking their heart because that's what you did. The first 3 games, Miami took Boston's heart, especially after that blowout. That blowout game, that game 3, that should have been momentum going into game 4 to close them out. But, I mean, when you start seeing, guys cruising, then that's when it's easy to fall back into a bad situation. Because now what you're dealing with, you're depending on role players to hit shots. Listen, role players are basically role players, right? So they can be on and off at any given point. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, they can go cold at any moment. Now, of course, when you go home, you're supposed to shoot the ball better, but it's going to come down to Jimmy having a great performance. Now, I think he's going to have like a 30-point game performance plus against this Celtics team. So, because that's the situation that they're in right now. If they go back and Jimmy Butler has another 15, 18-point game, it's going to be very tough to beat Boston because what Boston does they have a lot of talent. When I say a lot of talent, they have a lot of pieces. Picking up Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White was a great pickup. Robert Williams, energy guy. Here comes Marcus Smart. Here comes, Al Horford. Right? So there's a lot that Boston has. Now, Jaylen Brown, I know y'all heard that Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart was saying, they're telling, Miami is telling me to don't let them get another one. Don't let them get another one. They said this after game 4. Before game 4, Jaylen Brown said, don't let them get another one. Okay. So you let them get game 4. Here comes game 5. He said, don't let them get another one. They get another one. So what I see what Jaylen Brown's trying to do, he's trying to, first of all, psych himself up because, when you're down 3-0, I mean, you need somewhat of an edge. I think the fact that Gabe Vincent didn't play game 5 was an edge for Boston. And now that they're going back to Miami, all the pressure's on Miami now. It's not on Boston to win because now you're in the hot seat because if you lose game 6, then you're on the verge of making history in a bad way. And that's possibly giving up a 3-0 lead. Now, I'm still picking Miami to win in 6. But Boston has their confidence back. Jason Tatum spoke on the post-game press conference and said, guys, they have a bunch of, very, very tough-nosed guys on this team. And I think he's talking about like Grant Williams, Derek White, and Marcus Smart for the most part. But, he said this whole team's been together, for a few years now. So if you look at their makeup, They're actually battle tested. So, and with that being so, um, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are just two. They're two guys that you can say are if they play how they're supposed to play, then it's going to be a hard matchup for Miami. Because one thing, it's like it's pretty much going to be Bam and Jimmy against Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's why I see the matchup's going to be. Because we can talk about team, we can talk about ball moving all we want. As the series goes farther and farther, it's going to become more about your stars. It's going to be becoming more about the guys, the star players. Right? So what you're looking at now is two teams that's fighting like hell in the playoffs. And I'm also looking at two teams that actually, beating each other up before they have to deal with Denver. Now, Denver is going to get all types. They've been off for 3 days now? When they end the series on Monday? Was it Monday or Tuesday? I think it was Monday. They ended the series. Yeah, they ended the series on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They've been out. They're going on 4 days of being off. So they're getting all the rest that they need. So they're going to be off at least another 5 days. That's 9 days off of basketball. Now, Miami and Denver, or Miami or Boston, they're only going to have a limited amount of days off because they've been killing each other in this series. So, it's going to be, they're going to be very rested. Denver's going to be very rested. But also, I would say Miami, they're one of those teams that play better with their backs against the wall. So you can say, oh, Denver's getting all this rest. And then Miami is like, okay, well, they get the rest, but we like it the hard way anyway. I noticed with that with Miami, they like things the hard way. They like to make things more of a challenge. I don't know why, but they like to do things the hard way. Boston, I think that would affect a team like Boston more than Miami because I think Boston's not as mentally tough as Miami. But I think they are more, they have more pieces. I do believe that. But I don't think they're mentally tougher. So we'll see what happens, man. Game 6 will be on Saturday night. I will definitely be watching. I'll be definitely doing a live. Me and Rick will be doing our live on Sunday morning about the game. So Sunday they'll be doing a live about the game. So hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal. You know what I'm saying? Continue to support the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. We'll be seeing y'all next time. Until next time, respectfully say pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here, life swim. Well.